Pisces Rising, this is Shira with your 2022 astrological outlook. And so to begin with, we've got to start off the year. We've got Mercury Retrograde from January 14th to February 3rd, and that goes respectively from Aquarius to Capricorn. And where is that for you, Pisces Rising? But your natal 12th house of secrets, and such original and unexpected Aquarius retrograde secrets at that. Don't be surprised if some information comes about now that could be rather unusual, weird, or shocking, which is also a little bit of Mercury in Aquarius. Then we flip back to Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. Oh, so serious. And Mercury will also be with Pluto, the powerhouse of intensity. So right now you will feel as you have been with Pluto there, but now with Mercury retrograde, you will feel so intense about those meetings with friends and some of your joint visions and goals for the future. However, don't be surprised if right now you have to put some of those hopes, dreams, and wishes on the back burner with those crowd of many friends you have, Pisces Rising. But it is a good time to jump back into the past and look into some of those plans with some of those organizations you have right now, and they will absolutely take on a very intense outlook. Then we've got Mars in Sagittarius, and that starts off January 2022. So, for the early part of February as well, Pisces Rising Sagittarius Mars is at the top of your chart. And Mars just loves to be in Sagittarius Pisces Rising. And why, pray tell? Because Mars rules Aries, which is a fellow fire sign to Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is all about boisterousness and energy, and Sagittarius is in a very positive sign when it is connected with Mars. So with Mars at the top of your chart in the 10th house, with oh so energetic Mars and Sagittarius, you are going to be all about your personal career goals, ambitions, and aims, and you are going to be putting so much energy in your perfectly compassionate reputation, Pisces Rising. However, do be a bit careful because there is a square to your rising sign, Pisces, with Sagittarius. So don't overdo it at work, and just be careful when you are trying to control those around you while you're getting your career off the ground. Use a little bit of that Pisces insight and sensitivity with your work and career. Then we've got Mars, the planet of action in Capricorn. We've got the 11th house influence again, Pisces Rising. And now Mars will be with Pluto in February 2022. And Pluto is somewhat like Mars because they both like action and they both rule the sign of Scorpio and Aries. So this is a no-nonsense Mars. You mean business right now, Pisces Rising, and you will take all action with regards to those groups and friendships, social media. Put yourself out there and jump up and get noticed, Pisces Rising, because you will be ever so intense and ever so businesslike to your friends. You want to let them know who is in charge of your groupthink and your goals. Do be careful of any conflicts, however, Pisces rising, because Mars, the action planet, is intense when it controls wonderful Pluto and Mars once they are together in the same sign. Just be careful that you take a very compassionate Pisces rising light touch to all your friends, groups, organizations, and social media now. Then we've got Uranus direct in Taurus on February 18th. And my goodness, Pisces rising, that is in your natal third house. And what is the third house, Pisces rising? But it is the communicator. It is about social media and socializing. It also is in effect with the written as well as the spoken word. So with Uranus, the unique and unexpected planet of the original and the unpredictable, some of the things that you will communicate right now on one hand are very good, but on the other hand, they could be a little bit way out and different. But hey, with Uranus direct now on February 18th, people will totally get you, Pisces. You can use your Pisces intuition with a very positive way with all that you have to say with third house communications, and especially there may be some sudden unexpected surprises with those neighbors or with all that you know in the vicinity. Oh, so why are there so many weird happenings right now as of late, Pisces rising? But nonetheless, you can express your unique ideas rather clear. Then we've got Venus on January 29th entering the sign of where Pisces rising again, but that sign of Capricorn in your 11th house, and that will remain there until early February 2022. So now we've got sweet Venus in your 11th house. And so there's that friends theme again. So you must be very busy as of late getting together and putting your goals together with all your compatriots and all those that share like-minded ideals. But with Venus there, my goodness, Pisces rising, people are going to listen to you, and because of that heavy Capricorn influence, for some reason, Pisces rising, lately, you are the boss. Take control, and with Venus there, ever so kind, which you can associate with Pisces rising, people will sit up and listen to you. Then, oh my goodness, Pisces rising, where do we have Jupiter in Pisces, by the way, this year? But your natal first house. That is just tremendous. Only happens once every 12 years, Pisces rising. So this year, if you wanted to make serious, very broad-minded changes, oh my goodness, Pisces rising, this is the year for you. You are going to travel. You may go to places you've never seen before. Hey, you may even very drastically and yet compassionately, Pisces rising, change that hairstyle. Change your style altogether. But wow, Jupiter is the old planet ruler of Pisces. So Jupiter really loves to be in Pisces. And with that over your first house, every area of your life this year, Pisces rising, is going to improve. Hey, if you were looking to get that new job or start that new career, or maybe even be a leader in a very Pisces rising, gentle, soft way, you will get your wish because Jupiter is pretty much a happy planet. And so there's going to be something about you that is just so Pisces rising, Jupiter in the first house, so soothing. And while it's sticking around with the now primary ruler of Pisces, Neptune, you may be a little dreamy yet deceptive, but all in all, people will seem to tend toward you right now, Pisces rising, because you're ever so kind and ever so caring. And right now, probably of all the signs, you are just so incredibly popular. Take it to the hilt with Jupiter there now, Pisces rising. Then we've got Mercury with Saturn in Aquarius, and that's mid-February. And then Mercury will be with Jupiter, and that is in Pisces in your first house from the end of February to March 9th. So while Mercury is in Aquarius and it sticks with Saturn in Aquarius, that, by the way, has been in your 12th house for quite some time, you are taking all kinds of emotional connections and deep feeling, deep-seated emotions very serious right now. And now we've got Mercury there. Wow, that's going to be a time that you're going to communicate all your deep feelings, and it's a great time to really discuss anything that has been bothering you. This is a wonderful time for counseling now, Pisces rising. But not only that, as aforementioned, there could be secrets that come about now. Maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but also with that 12th house influence, some of those secrets are pretty serious with Saturn there. And hey, who knows, maybe you will develop a very serious Saturn conjunct Mercury thought about the paranormal or the metaphysical. Hey, that's what you're going to take seriously now, too, Pisces rising. Then we've got Mercury. We've got the Mercury with Jupiter. So it's one thing to have Jupiter in your first house now, Pisces rising, but when you combine that with Mercury and Neptune is still remaining there, you are not only coming across as a bit of a mystery yourself now, Pisces rising, maybe a little bit confusing, but with Mercury there, this is the time you're going to communicate all that sensitivity, all that Pisces psychic ability and insight during this time from the end of February to March 9th. People are just going to sit up and listen to you, and whenever you talk, there's something just so brilliant about your Pisces rising insight. Yes, live it up, but be very clear with Neptune and Jupiter there. Now, we've got late February to early March. We've got Venus, that sweet planet again, Pisces rising with Pluto in Capricorn. There's that Capricorn, Pluto, and Venus connection again. And that is in your 11th house. So this is a very serious time. You want to express to your friends, your compatriots, how serious you are about your goals. And who knows, because you have such power with connections with groups right now, they're going to take you very serious. And it's not going to be any exception late February to early March. Who knows? You guys are going to be back on the block thinking about some of those wonderful negotiations and partnerships. What a great time. But with Venus and Pluto, it's great to be sweet, but don't be a control freak. Now, we've got Venus in Aquarius. Yes, sweet Venus in the unusual sign of Aquarius. That's mid-March. Then we've got Mars in Aquarius in April. And where are they, Pisces, again? Which you can relate because Neptune rules the 12th house. But yes, the 12th house of the behind the scenes. But with Venus, that is very creative. Venus has a creative bend as well in your 12th house. So right now, maybe you've got a secret hobby or a secret desire to express your artistry right now. And once Mars hits original Aquarius in April, wow. Pisces rising, you're going to be on a very powerful creative bend. But with Mars and Venus there, this is a great time to, as aforementioned, express your deepest desires. Right now, you may be looking for sources of healing because with the Aquarius influence there and with Saturn and squaring off the ruler of Uranus in Taurus, there have been some probably insightful ups and downs right now emotionally for you. But the 12th house is the healer. And you are going to look to healing and the metaphysical, the psychical. You will, as aforementioned as well, very much look into some creative outlets that will also help you to feel better and to heal. Also, with Venus, Mars, and Aquarius in your 12th, it's a great time for any medical procedures, conventional, unconventional, because that will help to heal you and make you feel great as well. Then we've got Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune conjunct in Pisces mid-May. Wow, you're back in the power seat again. Compassionate Pisces rising. Well, we've got Jupiter and Neptune there, but now we're adding Mars. So in your life right now, with that conjunction in Pisces in your first house in mid-May, wow, you're a go-getter now. You're going after all your goals. It's a time to find that perfect job for you. But whatever you do, Pisces, you are the one in charge. People can't get enough of your impressionable yet creative, brilliant, insightful Pisces rising self. It's going to be a very busy time come spring for you, especially in May, Pisces rising, because with Mars there, wow, you're going to have so much energy to really put out with your goals and aims and what you really want to do, and really changing it up with your new style and the way you project yourself. People just can't get enough of you at that point in time, Pisces rising. Then we've got May 10th to June 3rd. We've got our second Mercury retrograde in Gemini to Taurus. And where is that in your chart? Pisces rising, but your natal 4th house to your natal 3rd house. So 4th house is about family. So you may have to be very cautious with family conflicts between May 10th to June 3rd. It could be that there was an issue that you thought was behind you. But right now, one good thing with Mercury, especially in its ruling sign of Gemini in your 4th house, it is a good time to get closure with any disputes or differences of opinion you may have. Also, this is not a time as a Mercury retrograde phase to sign on a dotted line. But also, what else does the 4th house rule? But the 4th house is connected with what? your literal home, your living space, your abode. So maybe you might be looking for a different place to hang out and keep your stuff right now, Pisces rising. Or it is a time that there could be a delay or frustration on some of those house renovations. But as always, thank goodness this retrograde phase with Mercury is rather brief. Then Mercury flips back to your natal third house, up the communications house. So maybe some of those short distance trips that you've wanted to take around the neighborhood, or maybe somewhere, someplace, may also have a delay that you might have to reschedule for another day. Also, be careful of communications with those that are neighbors or in your vicinity, and some of those car issues may have to have repairs. So we then move on to June 4th. We've got Saturn in where, we got that 12th house influence again, retrograde. So it is a time with Saturn there, retrograde. That can be on occasion, Pisces rising, a little bit sobering. But one thing about Saturn is it rules karma. So if you really take the time to figure out some of those issues that are bothering you now, especially with Mercury, that's Saturn retrograde in Aquarius right now, you will be rewarded in the future with having clarity of mind and kind of getting rid of and doing a clearinghouse mentally and emotionally of all that is bothering you in the future. So it's a good time to go back in the past, do some of that Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, karmic hard work, and you will see that you will be just fine. Then we've got June 28th, we've got Neptune, the deceiver, and on your first house, Pisces rising going retrograde. So it's a beautiful place for Neptune over your first house, Pisces rising. But when we're talking Neptune going retrograde, you have to be very clear, that word again, very assured and confident. You project a confident you, because with Neptune over your first house, you don't want to feel like you're deceiving others, or people are not sure about what your aims and your goals are, and you may feel a little bit lost at this time. But as most, if not all, retrograde planet stages, thank goodness, Pisces rising, this is rather brief. Then we've got Jupiter, the generous, expansive planet. Then that goes retrograde on July 28th to November 23rd. Thank goodness, Pisces rising. That is only 4 months. So where, pray tell, is Jupiter but in Aries? And guess what, Pisces rising? It is going to move from from Pisces to Aries. So it's going to go from your first house to your second house. And when is this? But on May 10th. And then Mars will be with Aries when in June. And similar to Jupiter in Pisces, Pisces rising, Jupiter loves to also be in very zesty Aries. And come May, with Jupiter in Aries in your second house of income, oh my goodness, that is just one beautiful, blessed time for your finances. Oh, this spring, if you've had some issues with job or possibly money, oh, Jupiter will bring so many opportunities to you, Pisces rising. Oh, Jupiter also is abundance. So that means there's going to be abundance of opportunities, especially with Mars there in June with Jupiter. You're not only going to be a go-getter for work or businesses, you will have many ideas to bring in many different sources of income for you. It's a great time for investments. Hey, live this one up too, Pisces rising this spring. Then we've got Jupiter retrograde from July 28th to November 23rd. Aries, Jupiter going backwards. Hey, so there may be a little bit of uncertainty with regards to jobs or income, but it's still in your second house, Pisces rising. So nonetheless, hey, maybe some of those old jobs from the past may be very attractive, but whatever it is, Jupiter is still giving you much in the way of prosperity. Then we've got late May to mid-June. We've got Venus with Taurus, the very sweet and yet romantic, balanced, harmony planet of Venus in your third house of communication. And because it is with Taurus, Venus rules Taurus. And when that occurs this mid-June, oh my goodness, so you are meeting new social contacts and friends. And hey, Pisces rising, they're not going to be too far from you because they will be in your vicinity. So this is going to be an extremely outgoing, very social-oriented time. But with Venus there, who knows, maybe that sweet, balanced, gorgeous vehicle will be very affordable and yet very attractive to you at this time. And perhaps you will know just what to say with the written or spoken word. And well, finally, that travel plan on the back burner will now become very possible for you in June. Then we've got Mars in Taurus with Uranus. That Mars aggression with the unpredictable Uranus in August. So you have to be careful, although your sweet speech is just ever so attractive just beforehand. You will have to now come August, after Venus, now with Mars, be very extra cautious that you don't get into any conflicts, disputes, or disagreements with anybody in your vicinity or neighbors. And be careful that anything you say right now is very clear, but it's not a little bit too unpredictable or too way out. But nonetheless, it's about action. So do pull back on the reins a little bit now, Pisces rising, and do be careful about what you have to say. Then we've got Mercury, our third Mercury retrograde phase from September 9th to October 2nd. And where is that? Pisces rising, and that goes from Libra to a Virgo. So from your 8th house to your 7th house. And where is that? The 8th house. Yes, Pisces rising is about depth. And you can relate to that being a mutable water sign. But with balanced Libra Mercury, this is a time that you will not want to upset any harmonious, wonderful connections with your sweetheart intimately, or perhaps you are overseeing a trust or important big money right now. But nonetheless, similar to your 12th house, the 8th house is about the mysteries of life, spirituality, and really communicating very deeply to those you are closest to, and especially your honey. Then we've got Mercury flipping back into its most elevated planet of Mercury in Virgo. And where is that, Pisces rising? But your 7th house. And the 7th house is of partnerships. And with Mercury retrograde there, you will have to be very upfront, yes, clear with your significant others. There could be some conflicts with love and relationships, or some of the people that you are developing partnerships may be a little bit odd now, but it's also a time of cooperation. So right now, especially with that Mercury retrograde, you want to cooperate and do everything you can to get along, and just be careful of those legal contracts too. Then we've got Sun in Libra. Then we've got Mars in Gemini. Then we've got to finish and complete this air trine Saturn in Aquarius. And that is a highlight for 2022. And where is this going to be for you, Pisces rising? But your 4th house of family. So that's going to be good harmony for you and your family and your personal living space. The 12th house of some of those very insightful behind the scene connections. And then finally, we've got the Sun in Libra in your 8th house. Wow, you are just feeling so good right now, because especially the Sun is in the 8th house of depth. Saturn is the 12th house of, well, depth and behind the scenes. And then the 4th house of family. So that means that very likely there's going to be some very insightful and good feelings that come up between you and your family members, and some serious family discussions now. Perhaps you and your family may want to develop a partnership, or on the other hand, maybe it will be good therapy for you, Pisces rising, to work on that house and beautifying it ever so beautiful with that Pisces rising artistry. But nonetheless, it'll be whatever occurs in a very detached yet very intellectual, logical air trine signs right now. Very good time for you to feel good. And hey, also 4th house is connected with that which is not only about your house, but you might decide to invest now. Do it, Pisces rising. Then we've got Mars retrograde in Gemini on October 30th and into November. So Mars is going to be in your 4th house. We've got that 4th house influence again this year, Pisces rising. And so what does that mean with Mars, the action planet, in your 4th house? But the 4th house, yes, is of family and your abode, and it is a time of feeling rather nurturing and maternal to those closest to you. But with Mars retrograde in the Jack of all trades sign of Gemini, right now there could be back to some of those disputes with family again. So yes, do watch some of those conflicts. However, Mars in Gemini is very sociable. So maybe you're going to be meeting many different people connected with family, or there's going to be many different people that you're going to connect with investing or looking into buying new property. But do be careful, Pisces rising, that you don't tax too much of your nerves right now connected with family and your personal abode. Then we've got Saturn and Neptune, and that's your 12th house and your first house respectively. Yippee! Now going direct. Oh, that clarity is just so wonderful now. No more confusion, Pisces rising. So come October, you are just going to feel so insightful. And now is the time you're just going to feel like you can conquer the world with Saturn going direct in your 12th house of the mysterious and those beautiful Pisces rising insights. But when Neptune goes direct in October as well, oh my goodness, Pisces rising, you are just going to feel like you can express everything you want to say. You want to be the most styling, beautiful Pisces rising on the block. And hey, you are just so psychic now, and all those hunches will pay off with all your communications, with all those first house connections. Oh, you're styling so well, Pisces rising now. Then we've got the end of October, we've got Jupiter back into Pisces. So from Jupiter in Aries to Pisces. Wow. Now, even though it's retrograde, it will be rather brief. And that will be the end of October to December 20th. So just a couple months, but nonetheless, with Jupiter, even if in its retrograde phase there between October and December 20th, 2022, you are going to be ever so expansive. This is a year for change for you. But while Jupiter comes back into your first house, your life will change. You may go back into the past and reconnect with some of those people that were so inspirational and so encouraging to you. Maybe you're going to go back and think of that creative career and hobby as a main goal or aim right now. But whatever you do, Pisces rising, your life will change and expand greatly. Now, then we've got in December, Jupiter flipping right back into Aries in your second house to close the year and into 2023. So boy, right around Christmas time, you're going to watch your bank balance grow again, Pisces. Then we've got Venus in sexy Scorpio, and that is at the top of your chart and possibly on your midheaven on the in the fall, and that is going to be in November, and that makes a beautiful, yes, and blessed trine to Neptune and Pisces. And where is that, Pisces rising? But on your first house. So this fall 2022, this is a great time for taking that long distance travel and many trips that you wanted to explore. It's a great time, Pisces rising, to take up many languages, or hey, go back to school and look into some higher learning or knowledge, or develop a new philosophy. But it will be a very memorable time for you with this trine to your rising sign in November 2022, as you will project your best self. Then we've got Venus in Sagittarius at the top of your chart, and depending on your birth chart, at your midheaven. Then we've got Mars in very versatile Gemini, and that is in your natal 4th house of the family. And then we've got Neptune, oh, deceptive yet sweet and sour Neptune in your 1st house. So this is a mutable sign, T-square Pisces rising between the 4th house, 1st house, and 10th house of career. So although you're going to be very ambitious for some of those housing projects and possibly connected with investments, real estate, and family, you must make sure with Neptune there, as you know, it's been there for quite some time, that you project your aims and desires very clearly. But even with it retrograde and over your 1st house, nonetheless, you're still going to be rather impressionable, Pisces rising, as you are. And make sure you are really crystal clear, that word again, about your goals and your aims. You may be confused yourself, so even if people see that you are ever so ambitious and just so beloved, Pisces rising, you may not be sure if that career or that job that you've had for some time is really what you want to keep or really what you want to do for your career. So don't be surprised during this time, Pisces rising, come December 2022, you do decide to make some changes with your job and career with this T-square, but nonetheless, it's still going to prove worthwhile and beneficial for you. So, to surmise this year, Pisces rising, there is much in the way of your 12th house. So, you will have to do a little armchair self chit-chat about what has really been bothering you as of late. Or perhaps this is a time that you want to get some counseling or have some of those medical procedures that are rather serious and that you've been putting on hold. But it's a good time to really do a lot of self-discovery. And hey, the metaphysical and the psychical are very appealing to you as well. With your 1st house influence with Jupiter there and Neptune, and briefly Mars this year, you're going to go all out. It might be in a very sweet manner, as Pisces rising is, and ever so artistic, beautiful, and creative. But nonetheless, your life somehow will expand for the better. Maybe there are literally many travels that you will take this year, or places that you will see that will be quite, well, memorable and dear to you, Pisces. But your life will change by leaps and bounds. With the 2nd house influence come the spring, oh my goodness, Pisces rising, you're going to watch your bank balance grow. And then with the 11th house influence, this is a year you're going to make some of those, well, intense plans with your friends, groups, organizations, and you've got the power. So, all in all, and especially with your family, a lot of ups and downs there too. But nonetheless, Pisces rising, like many, 2022 will be both rewarding and memorable for you. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.